Hey everyone, we're about to start the show. Let's get on with it and enjoy the starting of our new project. So, in today's show, we are going to be going into a photo editor to basically start making the kimono of my idol version of Kida from Disney's Atlantis. I'm going to be doing a Vroid version and a doll version of my basic concept. Today we'll be working on the actual kimono. Once I get all this set up, it'll be easy for me to take into the actual uh, settings for, or the templates for actual doll clothing. So let's start the video. I am trying my best. Let's get that out of the way and start the video. Okay, so you're seeing Infinity Photo. I've taken the basic template of the actual long sleeve dress, and I'll be overlaying the modified version of the template that I did on my Vroid model. So cutting all the sleeves out, the top portion, basically laying it all in place. So what will be, I'll be changing the blending mode so that I can actually see what I'm doing a little bit later. But I'm just laying it over top. You can actually see the bluish lines that I drew in order to do the collar, the obi, basically set everything in place. So I'm making sure everything lines up correctly. And now should be changing its blending mode. Yep, just trying different blending modes in order to see what I'm doing. I thought going a little bit darker would be okay, but later on I'll change that to a negative overlay so I can see a little more clearly what I've done. And it will help me figure out with more clear decision what I need to do to create a masking. Okay, so I'm trying my best to set everything up so I can easily see the difference in, well, you could say, make it easier on myself, but this is a lot of trial and error to find out what actually works. So I'm just going through the blending modes and realizing that the negative blending mode is actually the best one for me to see where things are cut out. And I'll go to the actual template that I edited and start erasing things out because I want a nice clean selection for when I actually create the mask for the lower layer. So I'm taking my time with this, erasing what is not needed. It's good to do it on this particular layer rather than the layer that I'll actually be using for the different modes inside, or because I want nice clean selection. This will help me not only select the main body of work, but will help me when I go to do a master mask for the entire thing, which will include a fill layer. They'll have a repeating pattern, a stone pattern that I'll be placing over top. That'll serve as a beautiful backdrop for the actual glowing effects that I'm planning on doing. Because I'm planning on making the actual basically the collar area, the banding ribbon around the kimono top. I'm planning on making those white with a aqua glow around them, so they really look like what was seen in Atlantis, where everything was this bluish glow. And in order to create that sort of effect, you need first the white lines, and then you put a glow outline in whatever color you want. Right now I am just erasing the template that I'm doing, cleaning it up so I can get a clear selection. And of course, checking things out, making sure it all lines up correctly. This does take a bit of time. So the screen is actually running, or the video's running at real time. So you can actually see how long it does take for me to just do this basic setup. I'm just going in slightly, erasing what I don't need from the back of the dress, because I want a low back, because that's the way I saw the actual dress portrayed, the one that I took inspiration from. So, like on the doll, it'll be a black enclosure. It'll just have a full fold over like you would see in a traditional kimono. But it'll be fake. And same with the, I guess, obi. I'll probably do a position where the obi should be, but that would be tacked in place so it remains in the same position on the dress, no matter how the dress moves when I go to do it in doll form. So it has the same effect like when it appears on the Vroid model. So here I'm just cleaning things up on the template before I actually do the selection that'll create the mask, because I really want something nice and clean, just to make it easier for when I do the selection. I don't have to go back so much and retweak things. So the actual template is what you see in black. I'm just cleaning up what now is the lower level, or lower edge, not level. And trying my best to get it looking as clean as possible. Of course, this will be a lot easier when I get this template fixed, for when I do the actual doll clothes. have that as a printout, because all of the pre-work will be done and it will just simply be printed out on fabric and then cut out and sewed together. That's the kind of clothes kit that I'm trying to assemble. So doing all this pre-work in Vroid Studio and of course the photo editor allows me to see how the clothes would react and such, and look on the actual doll when I go to do its paint up and such. So I've nearly got the template all finished for the rough selection. I take my time on doing this because it saves a lot of effort going back and forth later on. Alright, zoom in, double check things, figure out what I want to keep, what I want to do. Because I might be changing my mind on a few things. But it's good to be a little bit spontaneous with this. I found the best results are an even mix of inspiration, spontaneous action, and of course some rules as well. So as long as you got the templates, you can be just about as spontaneous as you want when it comes to the design of an outfit. Looks like I've got everything all set, ready to go. I should be going over to the selection mode in Affinity Photo and doing a selection. Of course, occasionally it does, depending on where I tap, end up going further down on my list of layers than I really want it. I definitely found that I was fighting Affinity Photo during this creation. I think I know why. Turns out I had probably too many layers because I was not deleting the previous outfits that I drew on the same template. So I had too many layers, too many actions. So one thing I'll definitely do in the future is upload the template brand new each time. That way I don't get this lag and frustration that I was experiencing. I've since actually saved the file as a Photoshop file, so hopefully that should work, but if not, I may have to redo a few things. But that's to be expected. It's a lot of trial and error. As you can see now, I've got the template in place, so now I am just working with its working with the paintbrush, the black and white colors, in order to just refine it a bit more. And this will help with actually creating the basically master mask for the entire dress overlay. It will help with not only the shading that I'm getting from the main dress template, but the repeating pattern. It will help with, if I want to keep any details within a certain border, keep it nice and clean. then I can actually keep those within that same collection, that group that the Master Max is applying. It's all preparation, and eventually you'll get to the point where I don't have to worry so much. I can have fun with all the decorating part, which is what I like best about the clothes constructions. It'll be the same way for when I actually do the doll clothes too. So, just straighten myself up a bit. Gotta worry about keeping my posture. As you can see, I'm just double checking everything, making sure I've revealed the stuff that I want to reveal and hide the stuff that I don't. So that's in using the colors black and white. White reveals, black conceals. So now that I am sure that everything on the actual template mask is all set, then I can actually go in, get the repeating pattern. So I'll have to add a fill layer in order to add that repeating pattern. And we'll apply that within the same actual same group. I'm losing what I'm wanting to say here. But anyway, is just about time. Well, looks like I'm still double checking according to the video. I double check, triple check everything. Just so that I can see every single detail that I want. Because the thing about design, it's all about the details, as well as the overall look. Should be setting up according to the video soon, the actual fill layer. Sorry, I'm doing this as live as I can. I really should have reviewed the video before going live, but I'm still getting the timing of everything. Okay. I think the video has actually slowed down a bit. I'm wondering if I'm in the section where I'm trying to do some painting. I won't be surprised. Oh, yes. Because the number of times I had to redo things. Of course, this video is going back and forth. It just shows that I had lots and lots of troubles. We got the texture in, the stone texture, as well as the glowing sash bands, or I can't really think right now what they're called. But here now I'm entering into the section where I'm starting to do a little bit of decorating. And this is what took a lot of time. I actually had to do this text over and over again. I'm planning on writing in Atlantean script the phrase that Kida says to her father, which is, if these outsiders can unlock the secrets of our past, perhaps we can save our future. So I want that entire script actually running along the bottom border. I think it would be a nice tribute to the actual movie. And it shows a little bit more of the Atlantean culture that was depicted in Journey to Atlantis, which the movie definitely was more focused on Milo than it was on Kida. Kida was more of a supporting role, but she is definitely one of my favorite characters. It's just too bad there hasn't been that much recognition on her, because she is quite the character. And I'm hoping, because of what I'm doing for this collab that I'm doing with Diana the Doll Fairy, as part of her Doll Fairy community collab, that it'll bring a little more recognition to a character that's not always recognized. Like, people recognize the look of her, even Disney fans, but may not always remember her name. So I'm hoping to bring Kida into a little bit more of the limelight. And of course, with the Vroid character, I should have a little bit more fun creating videos with her. As you see, I'm just using the actual Atlantean script, tracing over each letter, saving it as an individual layer. That way I can mix and match and actually write out the script that I want. In order to keep track, because the shapes actually don't look like our traditional English letters, I'm writing down the actual letter, and then when I go to assemble each word into a group, I'll name the group the actual word that I wrote. It's an easy way of keeping track of everything. And then I can duplicate individual layers to write out each word individually. First things first, of course, is tracing all the letters that I would actually need. And this will take some time. It's actually kind of interesting to learn to read this script, because I don't know if it was actually an original script just for the movie, or if it was a real life script. I'd have to actually look into it, but it's kind of neat. It reminds me a little bit of the Celtic runes, the Nordic runes, so there's probably some inspiration in that aspect. But I'm so glad that there was this table depicting all the different runes in their script form. Makes it nice and easy to actually develop the phrase that I want to put onto the dress. So I'm going to have the dress. I'm thinking going with a pants template. That way I can have some raised features on the leg, like the actual, I'm thinking some lace detail that I want to appear at the top of a cuff and such, as well as the raised detail of the actual bows and such. without actually having to resort to using the hair editor in Vroid. So if I can do it in pants, then it conceals a bit more underneath the actual kimono top. But it will still give me the effect of an underskirt that I wanted. You see me now just slowly developing the words, putting them in order. Think I'm in the process of making the word save as the last part of the script. And then once the entire phrase is assembled, I'll put it all into a group and then apply to that group the outer glow, which will have the same effect as the binding around the kimono top. Then of course I'll have to add in the sash and the other details I want. The sleeves are looking a little bit plain, so I best do something about that too. And that'll probably happen in tomorrow's show. Especially since it took me so long just to write out this phrase that's going along the bottom edge of the dress. But it was well worth it. I like the effect that came out. But as you see, it took some time to actually do it. And of course I'm constantly zooming in and out in order to double check the spacing of the words so it can actually see which letters belong to which words and making sure that it all fits along that bottom edge. It takes a little bit of time, but the effect, I believe, is so worth it. I can't wait to actually assemble it all together onto the actual Vroid model and check out the effect. I think I've got it just right for the glowing effect that I wanted. Definitely need a dark background or like the stone, the dark skin, in order for this glow effect to really show up. It doesn't show all too well on a lighter skin tone, so I'm kind of glad that I've chosen this sort of thing for the darker doll that I'm doing. And then I'll be able to try this model out, put it together with my model that I'm using right now, and maybe do some dance videos or something. Because after all, I am doing another idol. I think that's what I like, is that the outfits on the Japanese idols and such can be so fantastic and creative. It's really where you can have a lot of fun. If you go into North American celebrities, their outfits are not as creative unless you go with Lady Gaga or Katy Perry. They really had a creative stroke. So I really like the fantastic outfits. It really gets my juices going when I'm trying to create something very interesting. As you see, I'm getting close to being able to fit the entire phrase in portion that I want. Looks like it's almost there. And it'll be a lot of fun once I get this going. So tomorrow you'll be able to see the rest of the process. Hopefully I'll be able to get not only the kimono shown, but the rest of the pieces and show you in the air. But of course, it's going to take some time for me to actually build them. So we'll see what I can actually get going. Looks like according to the video, I am just about got everything in place, ready to apply that glow effect. That is similar to what's on the actual binding edge. Of course, it took me several tries because it really did not want me to finish this part of the project. Yeah, it looks like it didn't save my previous attempt, so it was a matter of going back, rewriting. So yeah, that was a little frustrating. I think it's simply because I had too many layers, did not save appropriately, and yeah, I'll be taking my time definitely next time, making sure that I don't do too many outfits onto the same template. I think I reached the limit of this particular template and should really start anew each time. Otherwise, it just gets frustrating and will occasionally kick me out if I push it too much. You can see I'm just rewriting the last few words, and then I should be able to apply the actual glow effect. It's adjusting, tweaking, making sure that they all fit. One thing I definitely learned is that at the size of the script that is being shown at, the glow outline needed to be 5 points, so it's very small, in fact. So, something to consider. I think when I go to make it into an actual doll clothes, in order to get that glow effect, I'm definitely going to have to use paint. Yeah, I do have some glow-in-the-dark paint in blue, so it should work. Should be fun to actually create, do a mirror image of the actual Vroid model with the doll. That would be fun to create. And that will definitely be something for a future episode on how to create that type of image that I'll probably be submitting to Diana the Doll Fairy for their collaboration video in order to showcase every model or doll that is created for this collab. I did find out that she loves that I'm going to be using Moonlight Jewel's Lila doll as the actual base for this Kida idol. In fact, she really finds the whole concept quite interesting. I get the rough idea of what I'm trying to do there. I'll definitely do a much better job of tomorrow's video, because I can't really control the speed of this, so obviously more work needs to be done. I am grateful for everyone that is watching and allow me to experiment in this whole new realm of streaming to multiple channels being a Vroid character VTuber and showing more of the digital design process that I actually go through for not only my Vroid characters, but the doll clothes that I'd be making as well. This is turning out to be a lot of fun. And just to let you all know, I am recording a bit of behind the scenes of the actual show, but that will only be available to my Patreons. I'll be uploading this week's worth of videos as of on Wednesday when I get it all edited together, and Patreons will get access to that. I'm also planning on redoing a lot of my Patreon to probably an open donation. So you make whatever you can, or whatever donation amount that you can, to support me and the channels in my pursuit of actually doing this. And there are other ways that you can support me as well, by going on to my Redbubble, buying merch there, or Spoonflower. And I'll be also uploading a lot of the Vroid textures that I create onto Booth. So if you're interested in making your own models, those textures will be available. I'm glad to show you all this and show you different ways that you can actually support me. I'll launch into the chat just after I stop the stream, where you can actually connect with me outside of the stream. It will not only be Instagram, which you can actually see here on the screen right now, but Twitter, and I'll make sure that I upload the most current link to the Discord group, of which I do a bit of chatting as well. So these are all different ways that you can support me and the art that I create. So I want to thank you all for coming to the Digital Design Show. I'll be streaming again tomorrow the results of the rest of the actual outfit. Hopefully I'll get the whole thing done, and I'll definitely be doing a better job of actually reviewing the media that I'm about to post. I want to thank you all for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then,